And that was to destroy East Coast rap. And what I mean by that, and I know people gonna be like, yo, Gene is out of his mind and everything like that. Check this out, brother.
In the moment, it just felt like, what? Like, is this fun for him? Is this like a test?
For years, people have whispered and argued about who really wanted Tupac Shakur gone. Books, documentaries, and endless debates have been filled with theories, but rarely did anyone close to the action speak up with real weight behind their words. That silence cracked wide open when Gene Deal, a former bodyguard who once stood right next to Sean Diddy Combs, finally spoke his truth. His words cut through decades of rumors like a blade. According to Deal, what Diddy felt for Tupac wasn't just rap beef or coastal pride. It was way deeper. He says it burned with anger, resentment, and shockingly, even an open wish to see Tupac taken out. And this isn't just barbershop talk. Deal swears he lived it, breathing the same air as Diddy every single day, and remembers hearing things that now sound like straight up threats.
Sean had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Sean is the one who pulled that gun out. Sean is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
What shakes Deal the most is how normal those alleged comments sounded, like everyday talk. They weren't whispered in secret or buried in slick wordplay. According to him, they were said straight up, out loud, no filter. That becomes even heavier when you line it up with old court transcripts, where Diddy's name reportedly popped up multiple times in connection with money moves, heated disputes, and frustration over Tupac's music. What once looked like a simple label versus label beef suddenly feels, at least through these accounts, more like a calculated chess match, built on betrayal, money, and raw power.
The potential. Jay was more quiet. But I mean, I learned that Jay was being quiet because he was taking notes. He was taking notes, observing everything, taking it all in. Because, sometimes you're around and you're watching to see things to do. But some people are around.
Deal paints the picture of something far darker than just an industry rivalry. He frames it like moves from a boss who's dead set on settling scores. And here's the wild part. Deal also hints that Tupac himself felt the heat. Picture it. At the peak of fame, rewriting music and culture, but constantly checking your back, knowing a powerful hand might be plotting against you. He says Tupac wasn't naive. He may have seen the storm coming, maybe even preparing for it, which makes you wonder, in Las Vegas, was he truly blindsided, or was he already bracing for the inevitable?
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
From there, the tale twists into one of the wildest and longest running theories of them all. The idea that Tupac staged his own disappearance. According to this belief, the shooting, the hospital stay, and even the official death report were all just part of the cover-up, while Tupac himself slipped away into the shadows. Supporters of this theory lean heavy on the strange details. Why wasn't Tupac rocking his bulletproof vest that night, a vest he wore so often even when he was just out at clubs or public spots? Why did the autopsy list height and weight numbers that didn't even match his real stats? And why did the coroner in charge of his case walk away from the job not long after? Suspicious, right? Even Tupac's own mother once dropped cryptic words saying her son had chosen to leave quietly. Some fans don't hear grief in that, they hear a hint, maybe even a clue. Then come the countless alleged sightings, Cuba, Belize, even Havana street markets, like Tupac was moving free overseas. Michael Nice, a former security insider, even claimed he helped pull off the escape, going so far as to say Fidel Castro gave Shakur safe harbor. Of course, none of these claims have ever been proven, but they keep the legend alive.
We haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence.
Put side by side with Deal's allegations, those theories hit even harder. If it's true that powerful figures really wanted Tupac gone, then what people once called paranoia might have been straight up survival instinct. That flips the whole story. His disappearance wouldn't look like an accident or a publicity stunt, but a life or death decision. Live as a superstar with a target on his back, or disappear into the shadows for good.
I'm sorry, I'm just like really, I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck during those years. You're still stuck 21 years later.
Deal also pulls back the curtain on what some insiders call Diddy's shadow crew, a circle allegedly used to keep rivals quiet and shut down anyone seen as a threat. While none of this has been fully proven, it's chilling how many people tied to Tupac's case later vanished, went silent, or refused to step into court. And here's the twist. Those patterns didn't stop in the 90s. Even in Diddy's recent legal battles, prosecutors in New York have painted his empire like a full-blown criminal operation. They talk about coded language, hush money, and straight-up intimidation as tools of power. The cases are still unfolding, but the echoes of the past are way too loud to ignore.
Jay-Z got his whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name?
Right.
Solange. You got it. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
If Tupac really did escape, like some believe, then how could it have gone down? That's where the story flips from street drama to straight international politics. Tupac's family roots run deep with the Black Panthers, and his aunt Assata Shakur has been living in exile in Cuba for decades. That connection makes the theory of Cuban refuge sound way less far-fetched. Michael Nice even claimed that Castro himself allowed Tupac safe haven, but under strict rules: no public shows, no new official music, and no confirmation that he was still alive. Total silence in exchange for safety. If any of this is true, it means one of the biggest artists in history traded the spotlight for secrecy, swapping fame for a hidden life just to stay alive.
Well, the things that I experienced with him were monster-like. That stuff almost destroyed my life.
But every time real proof seemed within reach, it vanished like smoke. Michael Nice himself reportedly died in 2018, right when he claimed he was about to drop evidence that could change everything. And investigators like LAPD detective Greg Kading, who wrote about possible ties between Diddy and the shooting, got slammed with heavy backlash the moment they spoke out. It's like an invisible wall, some names always protected, while others who push too close to the truth either fall silent or disappear altogether.
So Terrence Howard appeared on the PBD podcast with Patrick Bet-David, and the episode, this premiered on April 4th. Mm-hmm. Definitely making rounds because in this episode, Terrence Howard describes an interaction with Diddy where he says that he believes that Diddy was trying to have with him.
Tupac's music itself keeps the rumors alive. His posthumous tracks, especially under the name Machiavelli, are loaded with symbols of death, rebirth, and survival. Fans swear they catch hidden clues everywhere, strange anagrams, cryptic liner notes, and layered messages that feel less like art and more like hints. So the question lingers: were these just creative choices from a genius at work, or coded signals about a plan he had already put in motion?
And what's really going to be interesting is the parade of celebrities who we expect to be mentioned and or called into that courtroom. You know, people who we hadn't heard about prior, like Mike Myers, you know, Austin Powers, Mike Myers. Why is he getting called? Why is he on the witness list? That'll be fascinating. And then, of course, there are the no-name, quote unquote, women who are going to have to find every ounce of courage they have.
Fast forward to right now, and Diddy is staring down major federal charges, this time not tied to Tupac, but heavy accusations of trafficking, racketeering, and coercion. Prosecutors even describe his empire as running like a full-on criminal network. None of it has been proven in court yet, but the wording sounds way too familiar to the whispers that have been circling him for decades.
Let's talk about the filth that's starting to come out in the early days of the Diddy trial. This, of course, is P. Diddy. Surprise, surprise, he's a creep. Surprise, surprise, he's done horrible.
And here's the part that raises eyebrows. Analysts point out that the intimidation and control alleged in today's cases feel eerily close to the same moves insiders claimed went down back in the 90s. Coincidence or straight up continuity? That pattern is hard to brush off.
Trying to find her, and her attorney has said that she may not be willing to come and testify anyway. So be interesting. Okay, we're moving on.
Now that federal prosecutors are digging deep into Diddy's world, the past is creeping back to the surface. Old files, dusty interviews, and transcripts where his name reportedly came up again and again are being pulled back into the light. And if even a piece of Gene Deal's story checks out, the fall of Diddy's public image might do more than shake his empire. It could crack open secrets that have stayed buried for decades, including the biggest question of all: what really happened to Tupac?
Or didn't he? Well, if he didn't, he's got a lot to explain. Well, apparently what Diddy's done now, which is a very interesting thing, is he's on the offensive of sorts. That's right, Sean Diddy Combs has initiated a $100 million defamation lawsuit.
What we're left with is a tangled web where music, money, and power collide with crime and secrecy. The story still refuses to settle down. Was Tupac truly the target of a calculated plot, or a genius who pulled off the greatest disappearing act in music history? Were Diddy's alleged threats as real as insiders claim, or just the bitter exaggerations of rivals looking to stir the pot? Nearly 30 years later, the mystery hasn't loosened its grip. Fans, investigators, and even casual listeners still chase answers, hoping the final puzzle piece will one day drop. Until then, Tupac Shakur's tale stands as one of the greatest unsolved sagas the music world has ever seen. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Was it a conspiracy or something else entirely? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.